No spoilers will be given. This is spoiler free.
Whoa.
We're going to talk about the review for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. No spoilers. So, you guys can stay around. We're not going to spoil anything. We're going to keep it very general. If you have not seen the
I'm
film,
gonna
you will be
spoil the
totally
fuck
fine
out of
listening to
this.
this. I'll kick your ass. I'll kick your ass out of this chat so fast, bro. I'll kick you out like the
Wow.
booty bots, bro. I'll kick you out just
Wow.
like the booty bots. Guys,
And you think he's a sweet angel? Look at the way he treats me.
Yeah, I know. Right? Well, because you asked
to
for
see
it.
it.
You asked for
I'll
it.
take it
That's
back.
why. So, guys, we got to talk about Black Panther because the film is doing very well at the box office, critically doing very, very well. I'll just start by saying I really liked it a lot. I posted like a brief little Instagram story that after I got out of the theater, but I give it an 8.5. Really liked it. It dragged in some parts. I love Namor, however you want to pronounce his name, but he was fantastic. Hot Toys better make him fully seamus Namor.
Well,
We need it. Yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. Zach. It's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen. Okay, we're gonna get into that. But I think this, without spoilers, is probably gonna be the film you get into Okoye. Just throwing that out there. Probably gonna happen. Ironheart, pretty cool. I didn't love her suit though, so we'll talk about that. Very emotional film. A lot of surprises, a lot of ups and downs. But I want to start actually with Leao because I know Leao, you love this film.
Yes.
You love this film. So
Yes.
give us kind of your spoiler-free general thoughts on it. How did you feel about it?
Spoiler free. I loved it from beginning to end. Were there some slow parts in it? Yes, there were. But getting around that, once watching it a few times, I gained the understanding as to why they had certain parts in there, and I was like, okay, then I can run with that. But all in all, I loved it. I love the feeling of loss, dealing with loss, and also dealing with the moving from that loss to prevail, but using that loss as strength, in a sense. You know what I mean? Definitely love Letitia Wright's character and her journey. Angela Bassett, chef's kiss, definitely one of the strongest points of the film. Namor as well. And I think the entire cast did a great job. And the thing is, I was definitely happy with it, for the simple fact that, again, it addresses a lot of issues that people have had or were talking about. In from my point of view, this is my personal opinion. It addressed it for me. Put it that way. It definitely addressed it for me, because if I look at it, it's setting up the MCU going forward. There's opportunity now, so that's what I liked about it. Again, it's I, from what we've actually gotten now, the very divisive films that we've gotten, and the bad taste that Thor: Love and Thunder left in my mouth. I hated that film with a passion, and I would never watch it again. Like, literally, that's just how it is for me. And to see this, it was like a palate cleanse, and I was happy about that. You know what I mean? It's getting back to, I think, what Marvel is all about and what they're capable of and where they're going to go forward. So definitely, from my point of view, I enjoyed it. I plan on seeing it plenty more times. That figure for me, I cannot wait to get it. I was excited about it. I definitely gave it high marks. I'm not gonna actually go over my rating, to be quite honest, until tomorrow. Because I just, I have my personal reasons why.
Yeah.
But definitely, I enjoyed the film, thoroughly enjoyed it for the culture. Also the inclusion on both parts. I loved it. And again, Ryan Coogler knocked it out of the park for me, and that's just where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Love those thoughts. What about you, Carlos? How'd you feel about it?
So I think it is the second best film in Phase 4, being Shang-Chi being the best film in Phase 4, Wakanda Forever being number 2, and No Way Home being number 3. I don't think No Way Home that was too good to begin with, but what was good, just not as good as Wakanda. I gave this one an 8.7 because I gave the first Black Panther an 8.9. So I think it's close, but I still think the first one is better. I think the way they handled post Chadwick, they did a great job. I'm trying to just watch my words because I'm not trying to spoil anything, but
Right.
the way they handled it, it was really well done. I think the story felt great. I personally never felt like it was dragging on. I felt like there were properly telling the story so you can understand the environment. They could
Yeah.
you could understand the
Yeah.
culture from the Namor's people.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Black Panthers, you know, the Wakandians background,
Yes.
and everyone's struggle post Chadwick and post T'Challa, I guess at this point. So I never felt like it dragged on. I think it did a really great job. I think in this movie you're gonna get a ton of, like Will said, surprises. Solid movie. And Namor's amazing. I
Yeah. He's a beast,
Namor,
bro.
Yeah, he's a beast, bro.
he's a beast, and I think the new Black Panther did great as well. When all things considered, and yeah, 8.7 for me.
Mhm.
The only thing I wish it would have been better. I felt like certain things were what's the word I'm looking for? Um, the fighting, or you know what? I don't want to say, because if I say it, I'm going to spoil it. So I'll leave it
Yeah.
there. 8.7.
We'll do a
solid
spoiler
movie.
review sometime soon.
Yeah.
That's hard. It's hard,
Yeah,
bro.
it's hard because there's a lot of unexpected things in this film that you could very easily
Right.
spoil. I think there's a lot of surprises. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I do want to, you know, for the people who haven't seen it yet, I think go in kind of being aware that there's going to be a lot of twists and turns with this thing. And you're going to be very surprised with a lot of it. So some of it's predictable. Some things we thought going in did happen. Some don't. So, and I think you guys are right, though, as far as, you know, handling T'Challa's death. I think they handled it very well. So there's a lot of honoring his legacy in this film, the character and the actor. So it's really, really well done. But Zach, what are your overall thoughts on Wakanda Forever, man?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a Marvel MCU fan. I always say on my channel, like, if Iron Man's not in the movie, I'm probably not going to watch it. So obviously I haven't seen
MCU fan.
I haven't seen like almost any of Phase 4, but I am aware of a lot of the criticisms as of late with the MCU, with I guess like the extended MCU with the television shows. I did see a super cut of a lot of the shit from what was it, the last Thor movie, I guess. And I'm genuinely glad that a lot of those issues with like the constant humor, you know, the constant like jokes, I'm glad that those didn't make their way into this movie, because
Yeah.
there is some
agree.
heavy stuff in this movie. And you know, you can't have these heavy moments and then mix in like a screaming goat, right? Like it just wouldn't
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't
it
work.
wouldn't work. You know, there was characters that I really loved. For the Latins, we don't get a lot of like characters, I think, at least from what I can see. And so I felt real excited to see one of our guys on the big screen, right? I felt,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, it was Namor. You know, I know there's a lot of people that were upset that they kind of redid, you know, the character a little bit to fit in, but I really liked the character. I really liked the driving factor for that character. There's a lot of weird plot stuff, to be honest. Like a lot of the decisions just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But at any rate, you know, it's a Marvel movie, so you know, I wasn't expecting like. There was just some moments where I was like, well, that's kind of a stupid decision. But you know, tremendous film. Initially, if I can be completely honest, initially when I left the theater, I was like, man, I really feel like they didn't. This is a weird way to say it, but I was like, yeah, I feel like they didn't really pay enough respect to Chadwick Boseman. And the more I thought about it now, because I saw it, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so 3 days later, I think they did it tremendously well. I think they did it very respectfully. You know, they didn't do too much, they didn't do too little. But the more I think about it, I think they gave a really appropriate, a really touching tribute. The song by Rihanna is really beautiful, and I don't think I'm gonna see it again. It's a long film. I'm not gonna watch it again. I think it comes out on Disney Plus. But
Same.
I was to be honest, when I got to the theater and I looked up the runtime and I was like, damn, this is like almost a 3-hour movie. I was kind of annoyed because I just don't feel like these films need to be that long. But to be honest, I never really felt during the movie that it was dragging or that, oh, well, you could have cut this out to make it a little shorter. I really enjoyed it. I think, and I mentioned this to you guys before the stream, but I think Riri, I don't think that she was utilized particularly well in this film. I think I would have preferred her to be introduced in her own show and then brought into this film. But supposedly her show is going to be a direct sequel to this movie, so that's going to be cool.
Nice.
But yeah, her suits were kind of weird, and then some stuff at the end was kind of weird, but with her character. But I like that actress much more in Judas and the Black Messiah. So, but she's a very talented actress. I just had trouble really seeing the age that she was supposed to be in this show. She just seemed a bit too old for me. But honestly, I would say if I had to give it a score, I would say probably 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, and I think when you have the MCU, it's not just one movie. It's like 30, 40 movies at this point.
Yeah.
A lot of people were upset that well, they should have recast Chadwick Boseman's character, and I think because of the circumstances around his passing, I think they did the best with what they could, to be honest. So I really enjoyed it. I would recommend, if you're on the fence, go and watch it. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the greatest MCU movie I've ever seen, but it's certainly up there. It was
good.
Heavy, really good. It's a lot more different than I honestly thought. Because Black Panther 1 is it's a heavy film, but it's like a light, you're going in there and it's kind of like there's fun scenes. Like in this movie, it's definitely a heavy film, to be honest.
Yeah, and just to wrap up the last thing I would say is I do feel like there were times where I was like missing T'Challa's presence a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like there was definitely the film really honestly probably did the best that it could with what the hand they were dealt, because they had to rework the whole movie, the whole script. I mean, they had the script, as far as I'm aware, basically done and had to redo the whole thing. So
yeah, it's kind of like
I mean,
with the sequel trilogy, like they had supposedly, if you believe it, they had one film of each of the trilogy was going to focus on the original 3, right? And Leia's film was supposed to be that cornerstone, that last film. And when she passed, they had to kind of scrap.
Exactly.
Allegedly, they had to scrap, all that stuff. So, they had to work with what they had and lines that were filmed and some CGI. But it was.
Let me say though, that real quick. I know you had mentioned that the runtime. So sometimes I'm watching a really good movie or TV show, and I'm like, "Damn, this is really good. How much time is there left?" Because I want to know, it's like 10 minutes left. Oh, okay. That's annoying because I wish there was a little bit more. And sometimes the really, really good ones, I'm like, I kept asking Becca, how much? What time is it? And then she'd be like, "Oh, it's it's only been an hour." I'm like, "Damn, it's really good," and we still have like an hour and 40 minutes left. So I kept asking because I kept enjoying that there was a lot more left. And second, I will say this, out of any Marvel film, out of any group, Black Panther, the first one and this one, both of them have the most dope ass villains in any other films or series. You got Killmonger, you got Namor, and you can look at Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor, whatever you fucking want to look at. They have so far the two dopest, not them. The two dopest villains of any Marvel.
I agree. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Out of the two films, you got two really good villains. So
badass villains. And it's like other villains are good. I'm not saying they're not good villains, but these are just like dope. And they were like, so they're not like, let's fucking kill everyone. No,
they're not pure villains. Yeah.
No, they're like for their people. So
they're like layered.
You can kind of be behind that. You know what I mean? So I thought.
Yeah, and I think Killmonger was a little more extreme, I think, than Namor was, but.
That's one of the reasons why when you watch this film, without really getting to any type of spoilers, you understand Namor's motivation. literally, because it's laid out there.
It's
And
so
you
well done.
understand it's so well done. It's laid out there. Namor was a fucking, I walked out like literally, and everybody that when I was, walking out, we were all having this conversation, even everybody walking out of the theater, they were like, yo, Namor is a problem. Toy, yes.
Bro,
Toya
literally,
was
I
like-
left the theater and bought this on Amazon.
Bro,
Namor was such
That's why I'm really excited
fucking
for the
was
Hot Toys.
beast.
Yeah.
He was a fucking problem, bro, and he was so well done.
Mhm.
And everybody was saying the same thing. And I was so, the thing is, mainly the reason why I was happy for this, and I'm sorry to say this, because this movie literally was a middle fucking finger to politicians out there who would give this culture a fucking problem. I'm sorry, I just have to say it was a fucking middle finger because it
Yeah.
was awesome. It was dope as fuck. And it draws more attention to the history of Mesoamericans, Mayans in general, the culture. If you don't know
Colonialism.
about it, like colonialism, all that, if you don't know anything about it, this forces you to go ahead and do your research. Even cool Khan is a real term. I don't give a fuck what it's a real term. So definitely it forces you to go out there and know your history. It was well done.
Yeah.
I need more
Yeah, it was
Namor, and I'm so excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
gotta
know what's
say,
interesting?
I'll go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say what's interesting is that this film, if you would have plugged in there Chadwick Boseman, dude, this might have honestly been one of like the best Marvel films of all time. Honestly,
Yeah, that's why I say like it
I-
kind of missed him a little
I
bit.
felt
Like,
his
feel like if-
presence a little. Yeah, you missed it. You sometimes you missed him, right? And you're like,
Right.
Chadwick would have done that. He would have done this. Like you just know from his
Right.
from Endgame,
They
Infinity
did what
War,
they
and the first
could,
Black
yeah, right.
Panther. Yeah. But this
And
would
it's
have
still
been
good.
like
It's still good.
9.6, 9.7. Yeah. No, it's
Right.
great. 8.7. I like it more than No Way Stupid Ass Home with Bluetooth and shit. So I really enjoy this a lot.